Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only Adrian Hernandez. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, everybody. I'm alive. I'm excited. I'm ready for. I'm excited for today's call. This call, important, especially because not that many people have this conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna have a real kind of heart to heart. Every year, right? I've been in sales every year. We're trying to blow out one year and start over the new year, get your goals, all of these things, right? So year-end activity is kind of normal to me. I am seeing a very big difference in my entrepreneur friends, which I will include yourself. Several of my friends who are seven-figure operators, profit operators, are actually putting posts out on Facebook basically saying, I'm reevaluating life, my life's mission. Why am I doing this? It's not a money thing. They're fine. But it's really interesting. I think there is a general understanding that there's more to life than chasing the dollar. So I know this is something you are talking about with your company, with your team, with your wife. It's just an important conversation because I think sometimes we get too focused on the dollar, and like we just joked, it's already December 7th. The year's over. So what do you
Over.
think of all this?
I uh I mean, you guys ask yourself, what do we wake up and go to bed thinking about? Right? For the most part, most of us is thinking about our financial situation,
Mhm.
right? So one thing that I've adjusted over the past few years, and for everybody, this is a work in progress, but we have to tie it to something bigger, right? When we're doing something that is bigger than who we are, than us, the mission is much different. So, we've hired several coaches that have taken us down this path of understanding why are you doing what you're doing. Let's just say you're buying rental property. Let's just say you're building a wholesale company. Let's say you're building a real estate company, whatever it is, right? You're flipping houses. Why are you doing what you're doing? As Zuber said, most of us is like, oh, well, because we want to earn a lot of money, right? Or we want freedom. We want to earn enough money where we can do whatever we want. Okay, but why? Like, why is that important to you? Right? And what I've realized is that first why isn't always the real reason, right? We
Mm,
have to go even deeper. We have to ask ourselves, okay, so then based on that, then why is that? Right? If it's freedom, okay, so then why is it freedom? Well, it's freedom because I can do what we want to do when we want to do it. Okay, why is that important? Right? Well, it creates peace and it just allows me to be with my family more. Okay, and why is that? Right? And we can
yeah.
get down to the root cause. Now, what we can do, guys, is when we're going out there, guys and gals, when we're going out there and we're
Yeah.
looking for property to acquire, now we are being pulled, not being pushed. Right? We are being pulled by our inner vision on what we on why we're really doing this versus that, like, let me just fight and fight and fight and earn as much money as I possibly can. That only gets so far. And if you ever talk to any of like real multi millionaires like you have, Zuber, you'll see that it's not the money that fulfills them. It's something
Yeah.
way out of that. Right. And what's big is recently, I had a close death in our family, and nobody is talking about his business. Nobody is talking about the houses. Nobody is talking about none of that. You know what they're talking about? They're talking about
Mm-mm.
how he made them feel, why he was even doing what he was doing, how he impacted his daughters, how he impacted his wife, the legacy that he left within his family. It had nothing to do with work.
Mm.
Nobody's going to remember the amount of houses that we acquired, ladies and gentlemen, but they are going to remember how present you were. Were you at the soccer games? Right? Were you at the baseball games?
Mhm.
I believe that is the true fulfillment of life. Success is just a byproduct.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been lucky enough to run in some pretty nice circles with operators, and back when I was in my sales career, again, seven-figure folks, and I can tell you there really is a difference. You know, you can run into somebody who is only about the dollar. Generally speaking, having a couple of decades of experience doing this, the mighty dollar, it's not a long fuse. It can keep you going a year, two, maybe three. If you're hitting it and you're starting to see the fruits of that labor, it doesn't last. It's not like you said the why, right? I've always said the why is 3 levels deep. I want to make a lot of money. Why? Because I want to do this. Why? What? It's 3, 4, 5 levels deep. You got to go deeper.
Right.
Um, but what I'm seeing in my friends on Facebook is they're basically saying, okay, great. Seven. One guy's an 8-figure operator. He's like, they're not feeling fulfilled. That is, it's both eye opening and sad.
Yeah.
Right? Think about it. Right? I mean, how many of us would love to, net after taxes $1 million? That doesn't suck,
Quite a bit.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't suck. But if you're that person and you're unhappy, unfulfilled, life's a drag. This is why I think Gary Vee is right.
Yep.
To win in life is to be happy. If you make
Yep.
40 grand a year and you're happy and you have a 9 to 5, I want to shake your hand. You won.
Absolutely. Yep.
Life it's about being happy. And for whatever reason, I'm seeing more and more people who are just grinding the last couple of years basically say they're not happy, and it's causing them to reevaluate a lot of things. And that's just interesting.
We're seeing it more and more in the entrepreneur world. We were all blind. I don't say all of us. A lot of us were blinded by the Rolexes and the cars and what we thought that really meant, only for you to get it to realize that, 2 weeks later, you wanted something else. Right. It's like,
it's the stuff. Right? No, I agree. I've been lucky enough to get to a point where I was comfortable, right? Because you get to a point where, I consider it, there's a mountain of, money out there or whatever you want to call it. And I got to some plateau and I sat my ass down. What I'm trying to do for the last 4 years is bring people up. Yes, some people pass me, right? You can watch Grant Cardone flex with his helicopters and his plane. He's going way up the mountain. High G-Wag. Yeah, G7, whatever it is, right? Good for him. Awesome. I don't have any of that pulling me higher.
Yeah.
So I think it's really, really interesting to see people in my network or my world 1, 2 standard deviations away from me go, I'm going to try what Zuber's doing. I want to give without expectation. I want to pull people up, because again, pulling somebody up from middle class and getting to 4 rentals is life changing.
Altering.
It's not 400 or 40, it's 4.
Yep.
Getting somebody to get out of high school and house hack a 4-plex is life changing.
Absolutely.
What you are creating, and you said I'd have it by December 15th, so I'm putting you on blast, is life changing, right? The mindset section, your mastermind that you did at your event and my mastermind, that's getting loaded today. It's this is going to be fun to watch how you and others around me who I respect for being operators kind of pivot a little and pull more people up. It's going to be amazing to watch.
Yeah. I'm excited because, Tony, I'm a big Tony Robbins guy. And one thing that he's been preaching since I was 19 years old is success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, right?
Ooh,
Success
yes,
without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And for the longest time, I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. I'm like,
now I get it.
Yeah, cool. I'm pretty fulfilled with this nice car. I mean, not knowing.
Let me see what time it is.
Yeah. Thinking that that's what it was. And for those of you that are, you're starting off in your career and you're 19, you're 20, you're in your 20s, you guys, this is normal, right? But the faster you can snap out of it, the faster you'll realize that all of that stuff has such a short fuse. And you get burnt out. You get burnt out. Like, I remember being like 8 years into it and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not, I understand why now. And what we're doing is just a vehicle to help us get to where we want to go. This isn't a means to an end, right? So really all of you guys ask yourself, where do I want this to take me? If I was to look forward 30 years from now, 20 years from now, 40 years from now, what do I really do? Do I still want to be working, or do I really want to be happy? Do I want to be chilling somewhere and not have to worry about my phone ringing or not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up this episode, I would tell you to think about the whys. I would tell you to go at least 3 levels deep. What that means is, why you want to do this, why you want to do that. And just go 3 or 4 levels deep. Share it with folks, which is something that's awesome. Share it with your significant other, your team. By sharing it, like we're going to do in video 3, I'm going to share my goals with you and you're going to help me create a vision statement, which I've never done.
So
You have to share stuff so you get feedback. And also when I share, it becomes more ingrained. It's more part of me, right? If you just write down a number and you don't share it with anybody, it's gone. But
right.
you put it on blast. I share it with you. This gets uploaded. 1,000 people watch it. Now I get held accountable. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But if somebody wanted to join your team or be part of your world, how would they do that, Adrian?
Reach out on Instagram, guys, at Adrian Hernandez. Appreciate you, Zuber. Have a good day.
Thank you, buddy.